Hi, so I am in beautiful Murphy, North Carolina, up in the Appalachian Mountains, and I am on vacation. And I don't know why I'm doing it in air quotes because I really am on vacation, but I came by myself. This is the first time in like years and years I've taken a road trip by myself, and it's the first time I've ever taken a road trip that wasn't a work related trip by myself, that I wasn't going to go like stay with family. So this has been an adventure for me, but it's so beautiful here. Let me show you. That's what it looks like out of the loft where I'm staying. This is a little Airbnb. It's been wonderful, but it has been a grand adventure. So they did warn on the Airbnb website or the app that that some of the GPS apps don't always get you to this place. So yesterday was quite the adventure because I got lost. The GPS took me way wrong, and I was in the vicinity, but just could not get there. And so I made the mistake of saying, well, I can wait to use the bathroom until I get there.
It's a rookie mistake. Gosh, you hate to see it.
I started saying that about 2 hours before I was supposed to reach my destination. 2 hours before I was supposed to, okay? Not before I actually did. So I'm like, I will stop at a gas station. I will use a rest area if it's well populated during the day. I'm like, I'll sit at the office and work for 5 hours before I even remember I need to go to the bathroom. So I can do this. Had to go all the way. Like, by the time I got to where the GPS was saying I was supposed to be, my eyeballs were floating, right? It was so bad. I had to go. I was like sick to my stomach. Like, why did I do this? Why did I put myself through this? And then the GPS was wrong. So I was lost, and I had to pee so bad. And I'm up in the mountains. These roads are small. There's nothing around here except for, people's houses. And I'm like, it's very wooded. Nobody would probably notice if I just went into the trees and did some business.
No! No!
I turned down this dirt, well, it's like a graveled paved road, and I see signs for like this lodge and kind of an event site, and I was like, I know this isn't right, because this is an Airbnb if somebody's like, they've turned their barn into a loft and it's on their personal property. So I'm like, I know this is wrong, but there were all these little winding roads off of that road, so I decided to try it. And there was a woman standing out talking on a phone, kind of in front of like this log cabin. And first I passed her, and then I came back around, and finally I was like, can you help me? I'm so lost. I'm so lost. I don't know. And she was like, oh, we get the people for that Airbnb all the time. You go up here, she gave me directions, and I kind of went, because that's how I do with directions. If I don't write it down, read it, or have the GPS yell at me with the information, I ain't going to retain it. I just don't have that kind of memory anymore. So I said, well, she's like, that road curves all the way back around. I'm like, well, I'll probably see you in a few minutes again. So sure enough, I did end up all the way back around. And finally, I actually ended up all the way back at this wedding venue. And because the woman's like, well, when you find the place and you get settled, you should come see our venue. It's really nice. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe I will. Because I'm like, it is beautiful out here. I mean, was it hurt? I'll go look. And so I ended up back there again, but this time all the way back at the venue. And she was there, and she was like, didn't find it, huh? And I'm like, help me, I'm so lost.
Get me out of here!
She was like, well, I mean, if you don't feel weird about it, I can just hop in there with you and just show you where to go, and I could bring you back. And I was like, normally, under normal circumstances, I would never even a nice older lady, I would never in a million years be like, hey, just hop in my car.
How about no?
But I was like, okay, hop in the car. I don't feel weird about it. I have to pee so bad. She's like, oh. I said, I've had to go to the bathroom for like 2 hours. And I thought, I'm almost there. And now I'm about to die. And she's like, well, you just come inside. And she actually did let me come into their venue and just use their restroom. And I was like, God bless you. You are the nicest person ever. And then, rather than get back in the car with me, because I did when she got in the car, I'm like, you're really trusting. Like, I wouldn't do that. And she was like, my brother's a cop. I think everybody's evil normally, so I'm like, but she was, I don't know if that made her start thinking about it, but when we went in, I went to the restroom, she came back and I was like, my coworker's gonna drive me and you could follow behind her in this way. She could just bring me back. And I'm thinking, yeah, you don't want to get back in the car with me after I made that comment. I don't blame her. And it was so nice of them. They did. They led me exactly where I need to go. That GPS was so far off. This is the country, y'all. I am in the mountains and I love it. It's so beautiful. And I'm near the Nantahala. I never say it right. But every time I go like out to go anywhere, like we're on to the grocery store, went to go get some coffee and stuff, I'm driving by the river and I'm just like, but okay, so if that wasn't enough of an adventure though, today I'm like, I'm going to push myself past my comfort zone. I don't ever travel by myself like this anymore. Again, like unless I was traveling for work, which now I don't work for the same company, so I don't have to do that kind of traveling. So I'm like, I'm just gonna push myself past my comfort zone and we go find some place to eat locally. And I want to eat in a local place. And I'm not as funny about eating by myself as I used to be. So I'm like, I'm just gonna do it. So I looked up on the GPS. I'm like, I don't really trust you as much, but I'm going to give it a try anyway. And I found a local coffee shop / pub downtown. And I was like, perfect. I actually had coffee here in the loft, but I was so hungry. So I was like, they served breakfast food and deli sandwiches stuff. And then they had like, it also was a wine place. So you could go have wine later. I was like, I just want a sandwich though. So I got downtown, GPS got me right there. I literally parked right in front of the place, got out, and there were 3 gentlemen out there. And one of the guys says, if you're looking for coffee, they're closed. And I was like, oh, okay. And my shirt says something about coffee first, wine later, which is funny because I don't really drink much. But he's like, I guess you're just going to have to go straight to the wine.
And I'm ready to party.
I said, well, I'm really more after food. Is there some place around here that's open? And he's like, well, what kind of food do you want? I said, if it can't run away from me, I'll eat it. And he was like, well, there's a place right up the street. I think this place at the corner is open and they serve like, steak and eggs and stuff. And I'm like, perfect. Y'all, I walked blocks all around. Nothing was open. So I went back to my car and those guys were still standing there. And the guy said, well, I hope you succeed on your coffee adventure. I'm like, I just got to find some food. I'm like, yeah, I'm striking out here. I did. I found a Dunkin' Donuts, just got a bagel, some coffee. And I'm like, I'm just going to run to the grocery store and just get like some lunch meat and stuff. That way I'm not, if I can't find something or I'm just don't feel like going out. Yeah, so I'm going to go to the grocery store. I was using Google Maps because the owners of the Airbnb had sent me a pin and it was more reliable than the address. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna try to get back. But when I went in the opposite direction that Google Maps had told me to go, that woman started yelling at me to make a U-turn. Make a U-turn. Make a U-turn. And I'm like, I am not making a U-turn. So I'm like, man, I'm going to switch back to Waze because I'm going somewhere else anyway. So I turned Waze on. I put in the grocery store I wanted to go to. Yeah, Waze is like, I'll get you there, but it's going to be scary. So Waze took me over the mountain, basically, over this mountain. It took me up this little one-way street. It was one car wide. There was no shoulder. And I'm like, if a car comes the other way, I am so messed up. Like, there is nowhere to go. There will be nowhere to go. We'll just have to sit there and look at each other. Or I'm going to have to try to back down the mountain. I don't think that's going to happen. Mind you, I'm in a little Kia Forte. And the Kia is like, me. Like, I'm like, just make it. Just make it. I got so freaked out. And, you know, my Waze is like, just keep going. I gotcha. You're going to get there. I did get there. But it was hairy. And there are all these no trespassing signs. And I'm like, I can't go back now. I'm like, somebody could come out here and shoot me because I'm trespassing on their house, their land. I mean, it was out in the mountains. It was in the wilds. And the view was gorgeous, by the way. When the trees did have a break in them, I was like, oh. And then I was back to being terrified because of the little tiny roads. In fact, they were so little. If you came up to, like, there were like mirrors on the trees that had signs saying check before you turn. So before you rounded the corner, you had to look at the mirrors, see if there was something coming. That's how crazy that road was. And the whole time I'm yelling at Waze, this is not a road! This is not a road! Evidently it was, though. And they did get me back out the civilization eventually. But that was... Waze has got your back, but... sort of. I survived it. I'm okay. I'm back at the loft. I got my groceries. This is the... Here's the loft. And me in the mirror. Scarily in the mirror. Little couch there. Which I fell asleep on last night. Anyway, it's been an adventure. And survived it. I'm very proud of myself. And I'm going to be here for another couple of days. And then I'll be back. I'll probably be back before I post this. But I'm going to have the name of that wedding venue in the notes, the show notes, because I want to make sure they get a shout out. I did ask them after they were basically leading me to the driveway here. I was like, I probably mentioned you guys in my show. Is that okay? And they're like, yeah, it's fine. I just want to make sure I at least had a verbal consent. But you guys, their venue was so gorgeous. It was so pretty. If I ever get married again, it's on the list, okay? I mean, you never know. You should always be prepared. Just be prepared. So, I don't know. But anyway, it's beautiful. It's so beautiful. So, if you're thinking about a destination mountain wedding, it's very pretty. And the people were super nice. The inside of the venue was gorgeous. And then they had this beautiful arch outside. It looked like a Sims wedding, y'all. And it said, everything in my life relates back to a video game. Anyway, this is a little kind of how do you do, but I'm working on a review of a game called The Forgotten City by Modern Storyteller. That's coming very soon. I've got an interview about my favorite video games with Sage again. Good stuff coming really soon, and I will see you guys.